Hi, friends. Welcome to the Gifted Essentials Library. Today's book is a book that is one of those that I think I've given away a bunch of times, and I have it on my bookshelf and I read it, and especially parts of it often. The name of the book is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Now, this book was published initially in 1984, but is still getting published over and over and over again because of the great value of it. Louise Hay, as you might know, is a spiritual teacher. She also owns Hay House Publishing, and she was a pioneer in many ways, or is a pioneer, I guess, in many ways, to self-development, changing our mindset, thinking differently about things, being spiritually connected, and all of those things. She started Hay House Publishing, I believe, when she was in her 60s. And so she's one of those people that's had a great life experience and is using it for the greater good. So this book is very, very powerful. What it does is it walks you through how to heal your life, literally and figuratively. And because when you believe that everything you think, you create, your mind, idea, expression, and metaphysicians will teach this, that whatever you're thinking about, because thoughts are things, they show up in your body. So whatever's showing up in our body is giving us an indication of where we're disconnected mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So if we are disconnected mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, or all three, then sooner or later, the issue, the discord, shows up in the physical being. So this book walks us through what to do to heal our life. Yeah, it's kind of amazing, actually. And when I first read it many, 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 many years ago, I'm like, well, of course, of course, of course. So think about the time when you were a little kid and you didn't want to go to school, so you pretended to be sick and you stayed home. And then you were thinking, okay, well, I got to pretend to be sick, because mom or dad or whoever's there will find me out. And then when the friends get home from school, you'll magically start feeling better. But then that's when you were really sick because your brain created the body experience. Happens all the time. And it's a common thing. And so she talks about how to do those things. But one of the things in this book I love, there's 15 chapters in it. And there's her story. There's lots of information surrounding how the book came to be, how it works, and what to do with it. But here's what I know. I know that I've used the book with my clients over many years and with myself. And I have yet to have an experience where we're like, that doesn't count. That doesn't work. That's not it. So one of the chapters that I absolutely love, because what the chapter titles are things like this: what is the problem? Where does it first come from, right? Is it even true? Because what we learn how to do is discern and ask questions differently rather than just assuming, oh, I have this thing, and so therefore, some bad thing is happening. Maybe it's a message. She talks about resistance to change, and all people have some form of resistance to change, and motivated people have a high level, often of unconscious resistance to change. That we can, as a motivated person, still have unconscious resistance. Sometimes that's why we want other people in our corner to help us grow, because then we will have more ability to see where the resistance is so we can work with it and work through it rather than trying to pretend like it's not there, right? And then she talks about how to do the building the new mindset, the new way of thinking about healing your life. Like healing means to bring back the wholeness, to rectify. And so that includes mental, emotional, physical, spiritual disconnection. But the chapter I really love is chapter 9. It's called Daily Work. Because one of the things I've learned about working in the personal development world in this culture for over 4 decades now is that we are in a world that's like, take a pill and it'll be done. Or if I do it 5 days, it'll be fine. Or if I do it for a month, that's a long time. That thinking is not effective. It's not effective. It's about saying, okay, what am I going to do every single day? I've spent years helping people get clean from drugs and alcohol. And it's like, oh, it's my birthday, I can do something different. Oh, it's a holiday, I can do something different. We make excuses in this culture for doing crazy things. I even had a client one time who had really severe intestinal reactions to gluten. And she had gotten this great job. She was so excited. She comes in my office with this brown bag because she didn't want to leave whatever it was in the car because it was hot, Florida. And she said, "Oh my God, I'm so excited. I got this job and I've got myself 2 Cuban sandwiches to celebrate. One for now when we're done and one for dinner." And I'm like, "But you have such a toxicity to gluten in your intestine that it almost killed you. You just got out of the hospital." So only in this culture is it supported to do something for ourselves as a reward that could actually harm us. Like go out and get drunk, do a bunch of drugs, eat food that you know is toxic that landed you in the hospital. Really? So it talks about we need to have a different mindset in daily work. She talks about how to support yourself and get support. And one of the things she says is when you were first learning how to walk, when you fell down the first time, you didn't give up. You kept on going. So to take ourselves off the hook of having to be perfect right out of the box, which is tricky for gifted people, or thinking that we have it on the very first try and we're done, or that we've done whatever the action is to help ourselves for a grand total of a day or 2 weeks or a month or even a year or 5 years and expect it to just be gone or done. It's very fascinating, when I really think about it. So this book to me is very powerful. It has some great things. Now, here in chapter 15, hold on, is this right here. It is a list. She calls it the list. The list shows what the problem could be, the probable cause of it, and then a new way to think. So the whole idea is if I change my thinking and I change my primary thoughts, then that energy, that way of thinking gets into my whole being and helps shift the body because our bodies naturally can heal themselves. So if I look at some of these things, let's look at this one. Let's look at back problems. Almost everybody I know goes, "Oh, my lower back hurts," or "Oh, my upper back hurts." Well, let's look at it. How many people have a lower back problem? A lot of people I know. And she says the probable cause of that is fear of lack of support financially. So like not having enough money, not knowing where the money's going to come from, not feeling supported in the world financially. And everybody I've ever asked that has chronic low back pain, consciously or unconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly, they have this drive, this fear of afraid of financial insecurity. So she has a way to think differently. And what she says is, "I trust the process of life. All I need is always taken care of. I am safe." Now, the "I am safe" follows many of her things because what I've started realizing as I looked at this book and worked with it is that "I am safe" and her other phrase, "all is well," tend to be underlying things where somehow we don't feel safe. Like we may not feel safe because we're in a bad situation, or if you're in the United States and you don't feel safe because of coronavirus or because of 9/11 or because of whatever, or you're somewhere else in the world and you're not feeling safe because of a volcano or because of gangs or because of whatever, that's one level of not safety. But there's also the safety where existentially, which is important for gifted people, existentially, we're not sure we want to do this three-dimensional world, that our spiritual selves, our soul, isn't totally in on this earth thing in a weird kind of way. I don't know how to describe it, but it's that existential thing of I'm not sure about this. That's a lack of safety on a nonverbal level. So when we're children, or when your children go out and they're not sure about school, they're not sure about hugging that auntie that they don't want to hug because there's weird energy. They're not sure about things. What they're saying is, "I don't feel safe." And how many times have we not felt safe and forced ourselves or pushed ourselves through a situation that lacked safety? That causes discord in the body. People do it all the time without really paying attention, that's causing damage in the long run, right? And we don't want that. Or here's another big one, constipation. A lot of people I work with, like, "Oh my God, I have to take enough magnesium. I get all bloated. I have to do these things to keep myself regular. There's now even ads on TV about it." Well, what she says constipation comes from. Now we're talking about in the thought process. So it goes mind, an idea, the thoughts, and then it shows up in the body. So whatever's showing up in the body first was in our thinking. So what she says, the probable cause is refusing to release old ideas stuck in the past, sometimes even being stingy. So think about it. When you're all constipated, whether it's in your intestines or constipated of thought or constipated of emotions, like all shut down. Constipation shows up in lots of ways. Are you refusing to let go of old ideas? Maybe you have a secondary gain of being a victim and you don't want to let go of that story. Or maybe you don't want to let go of the family dynamic when you know it's not serving you. Or I've even had clients I've worked with that have that family was doing very well, but they were really struggling and they were holding on to the fantasy, the euphoric recall, the fantasy of something. It's not real. So when we refuse to release old ideas, the system jams up. It gets constipated emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, or any combination therein. So her remedy for that mentally, what to start holding in our mind to change our mindset is, as I release the past, the new and fresh and vital enter. I allow life to flow through me. Stomach issues, right? All that stuff. Like, are you allowing life to flow through you? Are you breathing into life with beauty and grace and wonder? Or are you holding on to everything and holding your breath? Right? So we can be constipated in lots of ways, and it's because we're refusing to let go of the old. This whole go back. I'm hearing it so much in this culture, it's actually kind of annoying me. What do you mean go back? We can't go back. So people who are holding on to that, go back to how it was, are totally out of alignment. It's not going to work for them because it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. So anyway, I could go on and on and on through this whole thing. Another interesting thing that I've used this book for with this list is I've done it myself and I've done it with clients before, is write down all the challenges you've ever had in your life. Like I got pneumonia a lot, or, I had earaches a lot when I was a kid, or I had my tonsils out, or, all the different things. And then go find them all in the book and write down the common denominator. And what I found out with a lot of my clients, most of them are gifted people who are working through substance use stuff. What I found out with most of them, when we looked at what the new thought pattern is it all had to do with living in the flow and releasing fear. That fear and being safe, needing to be safe and getting rid of fear. Like all 20 or 30 things they would list had the same core at the end. So imagine if we just started taking the concepts and principles of a book like this that's totally been working for people for years and years and years. What if we took some of the ideas that have been around way before Louise wrote this book, and we started really shifting our mind in the way we thought? What if we really embraced being safe, whatever that means, right? What if we really embrace these higher things? What if we embrace the phrase, all is well, and we just let ourselves be in the moment, in the flow? What if we did that? Then we could heal our life. Then our life would naturally heal itself, whatever the disconnection is. But yet we fight in this culture and we try to find the answer outside of us. Oh, my. The answer's not outside, it's inside. Anything you're looking for is inside you. All of the people who are helpers like me, I help people all day long. All we're doing is reminding you, showing you, flashlight, supporting. But we don't have the answer. You have the answer. We just show you where to look. So don't buy into the belief that other people have all the answers. They might have answers you don't know yet that remind you of your deeper truth. That's all true because it comes together. So this book, needless to say, I think is a really good book to have on the shelf. It's a really good book to read if you're new to understanding how your mind works in creating your reality and how it affects your physical well-being. It's a really good book if you're new to that. It's a great reminder if you're not new to it. But I find that list in the book, I turn to it over and over again. I turn to it over and over again to look and see, both for myself and for my clients. Like, is there something else I'm missing? Is there something else I need to be thinking about here in this particular situation? So it's very useful. I also have a little tab on the daily work part, because I don't know about you, but I'm gifted and twice exceptional, and I can be very easily distracted. And even though I have a really good system and I set up my daily routine and I do everything right on time, or most of the time, there are times where I get off track. Like when I go on vacation or I travel, getting back in some of the rhythms is a little tricky, or shifting the rhythm when different things are happening. It can be a little bit difficult. So like she says, when you learn how to walk, when you fall down, you don't stay down, you keep going. I use the daily work chapter to just remind me, oh, okay, this is what her daily work is. Let me see what I could reinforce for myself. What can I do for my own well-being that will really help me get my grounding and my feedback? So this book is a wonderful book to teach people different ways to think to support their well-being. It helps us realize we have more power and control over the outcome and how we're feeling by the way we think than sometimes we're led to believe. That's very essential for gifted people, especially young gifted children and teenagers and all of us, really. But it's a good thing to start teaching the young ones that how they think they're creating their world. What they think about is manifesting in their body. What we hear is showing up. So if we're discerning and we pay attention, and we quit saying things like, why am I so stupid? Or what's wrong with me? What if we said something much more empowering, like, I am so grateful that I'm bright and talented. What's right with me? Get a totally different answer. Because remember this, your brain has to answer every question you ask it, even if it has to lie to you because you asked an unenlightened question. Pay attention to what you think and what you say. And that's why I like this book, because it gives you examples. You don't have to wonder what to say or how to do it. It tells you. It's a roadmap. It's beautiful. So, Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. Excellent, excellent book for all of us. So, if you have a book you want me to review or you have questions, you know what to do. Leave me an email, leave me a comment. Let me know you saw this video if you like it, and say something so I know you watched it. And then, you know what else? If there's a book you want me to review, let me know about it. If you tried any of the things in the book, let me know about it. If this is useful to you in any way, let me know about it. Right? So thank you for watching. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, a life-changing book that really helps teach things differently to give you more inner freedom for your own well-being and safety. Until the next episode of Gifted Essentials Library, remember that you are beautiful, you are lovable, and you are capable. You are safe, and all is well. See you next time.